So Donald Trump holds this cabinet meeting today, and he's trying to show how fit and how vital he is and how he can handle all the tough jobs. And he claims he's the president of transparency, and he's showing everybody every step of the process and all of this, right? Well, we talked earlier about him being up for hours posting on Truth Social. Well, that came back to bite him today in this cabinet meeting. Now, Fox News had to cut away from what was going on. They changed their focus, etc. But it appeared that Donald Trump, at several points during the press conference or this cabinet meeting where Pete Hegseth, I believe, was talking, his eyes go down, he kind of slumps a little forward, and it kind of looked like he was going to fall out of the chair. And I've talked about it before. It reminds me of my grandfather. When my grandfather, before he passed, he was suffering from Alzheimer's, and we'd be in mid-conversation, and all of a sudden he'd just zone out and pass out. He would fall asleep for 20, 30 minutes. And now if Donald Trump is sundowning, like we talked about in that previous video where he is up all night, he's got his night and days backward, and he's not really sleeping anymore, it is no question as to why he is falling asleep in the middle of these cabinet meetings. But Fox News tried to cut away, tried to cover it up a little bit, because of course they would. But the point is, Donald Trump is not in good shape. This is the man supposed to be doing these briefings to be aware of what's going on, and he's doing them in public to show us how fit and vital he is and how he's got his hand on the pulse of everything going on in the country. But then he dozes off and makes himself look even weaker. Donald Trump is not in good shape. We need to know exactly what is going on with his health. Now, this is it's not similar to what the Republicans tried to do with Joe Biden. Republicans tried to say the same things about Joe Biden, but they didn't have the evidence that we have. You didn't see Joe Biden falling asleep in public. The only thing the Republicans had were poorly edited videos that made Joe Biden look horrible, like when he was in Normandy at a cemetery for D-Day celebration. He was talking to somebody off screen, but because of how they cut the video and how they framed it, it made it look like he was talking to nobody. But a different camera angle showed that Joe Biden was actually carrying on a conversation. Things like that. And then afterwards, somebody had to direct Joe Biden in that frame to go back over to the group because it was time for him to do something else and break the conversation. But this is serious. Donald Trump falling asleep in cabinet meetings, falling asleep in public. It's clear he's sundowning, and he's got a lot of problems going on.